The death of a wicked man versus a good man. The wicked man, when he dies, is driven to his grave, but the Christian willingly comes to his grave. Let me tell you a parable. Behold, two men sat together in the same house, but then death decided to pay them both a visit. Death first came to the first man, and he said, "Thou shalt die." The man looked at him and began to cry. Tears suffused his eyes, and tremblingly he said, "O death, I will not die." He became fearful, and he sought out a physician, and said to him, "I am sick, for death hath looked upon me." He offers the physician all his wealth, and asks him to give him health and let him live. The physician took his wealth, but he failed to heal the man, even with all his skills. The man then changed his physician and tried another, and thought that perhaps he might spin out the thread of life a little longer. But then death came and said, "I have given thee time to try thy varied excuses. Come with me. Thou shalt die now." And he bound the man hand and foot, and made him go to that dark land of shades. As the man went, he fainted at the terrible sight of the land. But death, with iron hands, still pulled him on. There was not a tree that grew along the way that he did not try to grab. But death said, "Come on, thou art my captive, and thou shalt die." He did not come to his grave, but death fetched him to it. The grave came to him. But then death said to the other man, "I am come for thee." And the man replied with a smile, "Ah, death, I know thee, I have seen thee many times, I have held communion with thee. Thou art my master's servant, thou hast come to take me home. Go tell my master I am ready." And together they went along the road, and held sweet company. Death said to him, "I have worn these skeleton bones to frighten wicked men, but I am not frightful. Men have only seen my bony hand, and have been terrified." And as they went along, death ungirded himself to let the Christian see his body, and he smiled, for it was the body of an angel. The Christian said to him, "You are not what I expected, but I will willingly go with you." At last death touched the believer with his hand. Death put his finger on the man's pulse and stopped it for a moment, and the Christian found himself by death's kind finger changed into a spirit. He then found himself a brother to the angels. His body had been etherealized, his soul purified, and he himself was in heaven.